Hello, Michelle here from The Woven. I have been promising you for quite some time to do a 3-needle bind off, and having just picked up some stitches along the edge of my knitting here represents a perfect opportunity just to show you how a 3-needle bind off works. Now you can 3-needle bind off on 2 straight needles. I happen to do all of my knitting pretty much on circular, even when I'm knitting flat. And it just makes things like 3-needle bind offs really easy. Now the trick to a 3-needle bind off is that you do need an even number of stitches on both needles. So I'm counting in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and there's the middle, 17. So if these were 2 straight needles, you just have it primed. With your knitting on either side. Now, generally speaking, you would do your bind offs on the inside, which I just have comically now got around the wrong way, so I'm going to flip them that way to show you. Okay, so it's outside of my knitting, inside facing, even number of stitches on both my needles. And the clue's in the name, you need a 3rd needle. And then we're going to work our bind off, that's a tail, that's the real yarn, by going through 2 stitches at a time. So I'm just going to knit off like I normally do. So I'm going into my first stitch, and then into my second stitch. So there's 2 loops on my needle, and I'm going to knit them together and take them off one at a time. 1, 2, tidy that up, knit my second stitch into the first, and then into the second on the back, knit them together, off they pop, pop. And now I've got 2 stitches on my bind off needle, and just like a normal bind off, number 1 bunny hops over number 2, bounce. Then we make another one, so into the front, into the back, knitting them together, pop. And then number 1 bunny hops number 2, bounce. And away we go. What I like about a 3-needle bind off is that you don't have to sew. So that's awesome. I also like that it's therefore perfectly lined up. You know, you haven't got out of rhythm. And I also like, on some of my patterns, I actually put the bind off ridge on the outside. So you would be binding off with the right side facing you. And it's quite a cool little effect that it creates. I should actually stop doing this because I need to undo it. Because I've got to finish knitting my mitt. So see how tidy that ridge line is. It's really, really nice. And then from the other side, it's just the perfect connection. So that's 3-needle bind off. Happy knitting.